That's nasty.
Please beware of spoilers. This film is rated R, so please beware of graphic images and maybe some language, among other things.
Hey friends, and soon to be friends. So today might be a little different for a few reasons. One, hopefully you don't notice as much. The second one, you probably already noticed when you clicked on this video. So the first one is I'm doing a different lens on my camera just because the autofocus wasn't catching. That was giving me a lot of problems, and the camera was just not being kind to me, which was very stressful, which you probably saw in my last video if you watched it. So if everything doesn't look so great, I'm sorry. I'm still trying to work with it and get it done just to get my content out there so you can see what I enjoy, and hopefully you get enjoyment out of it, or it makes you want to go read or watch the stuff. And talking about watching, that is the second change. So I'm going to not move so much because it's not on autofocus now, so I'm sorry if I go out of focus. And sorry if my thought goes out of focus. Kind of sporadic at the moment. As you can tell by the title, it's called Media and Me. So it's about media other than comics, because there's comics and me, totally about comics and manga and all that fun stuff. But Media and Me is going to be about all the other types of media, like video games, movies, TV, board games. I think that's media. I hope it is. Anything like that. Anything that's not comics. Because I do like a lot of movies and TV shows and all the fictions. Like, I'm a big fan of a bunch of different mediums, genres, all that stuff. So I kind of wanted to do one about movies, and it might be every month. It might be every few weeks. It really depends, because it does take a lot more time and effort and studying and writing and all that stuff just to do it. And I'm trying to get better with not rambling on, but I'm doing that right now. But just please bear with me as I'm working out. So with kicking off Media and Me, I thought, Halloween's coming up. Why don't I try to get a couple ones done of some favorite horror films? I like horror, but I kind of have to be in the mood to be scared, I guess, even though a lot of them don't scare me. But I do kind of have to be in the mood to watch a horror film. And I just thought, Halloween, horror, they both start with H's. They're both kind of like thematically the same. So I'm like, I'm going to do some horror ones. And what else could I start with but John Carpenter's The Thing? Because I have loved this movie ever since I saw it as a wee little kid. I mean, I was pretty tall as a kid, so very different. Beside the point. I don't remember why, how, or when, or anything I saw it. But I was terrified. I could not sleep that night. Like, the dog transformation scene was just like, oh God, what am I watching? I'm a kid. Why am I watching this? And it scared the crap out of me, which is really good for a movie. Like, honestly, like, that's awesome. Especially a horror film. Like, I mean, that's kind of what it's trying to do. And even watching it a few, years later, it's still kind of terrifying. I mean, granted, I got some sleep. Between me and you, I lost a few. But it still holds up so well. Oh, man, it's terrifying. But it still lives up. Like, that dissection scene is just magnificent. The transformation. I keep saying transformation. I'm sorry. Whenever the thing would transform into other creatures, or just transform in general, like, it was so visually gruesome and just awesome and just beautiful with minute details that you could tell they just really cared, and they just wanted to put their heart and soul into this and just show how amazing, like, prosthetic effects and puppeteering can be, and just what kind of creature you could build with your own hands. And I gotta give Rob Bottin, I hope I said that right, I'm sorry, props for this, because his props were amazing. And even today, like 20 some odd years, even 30 maybe, I can't do math when I'm in front of camera, even so many years later, it still holds up so well. And it even beats out some other movies and like the effects department. And this was all like prosthetic effects, where nowadays it's CG, and the thing still beats out all of these. And I'm a sucker for practical effects. Like, I love The Evil Dead, which is another movie I'm going to talk about. I love that, and it had a ton of physical effects, and I'm a big fan. Puppeteering, all that stuff, like, it's a beautiful art, and you got to be really good at it. And Rob did just amazing in The Thing. It's just, I know I keep gushing about it, but it's honestly beautiful, and it's a sight to behold. Even years later, when I'm watching it on the Blu-ray they released about in 2016, so 2 years ago from recording this, like it still holds up, and I'm just like, dude, this is beautiful. Like I even paused it just to look at all the little details. And right off the bat, there's just I don't even know what it was, but it had me laughing. Mac, who's played by Kurt Russell, who everyone knows, um, he's the helicopter, the Norwegian helicopter lands, and he hears it, so he goes out to go see what it is. And the whole time he's holding a J&B whiskey bottle. So he goes out with the whiskey bottle, and I got a good laugh out of that. I'm like, he is going out to see what the cause of the noise is and what the problem is, and he has whiskey in his problem. That's how much of a BA he is. He's just like, I don't care, I'm gonna bring whiskey with me. And I'm just like, yeah, that's cool. Like, that's funny. And so I kind of Googled that because I thought it was funny. Because after rewatch, I noticed just how much the J&B whiskey was in there. And even a reviewer, critic, whatever you want to call it back then, even said this felt like a commercial for J&B whiskey. And I'm like, that's kind of funny because it is in there a lot, and I don't know why. But I mean, that is pretty hilarious. And on the subject of film critics, a lot of them panned it back then. I mean, that happens with a lot of movies, I feel like from the 70s, 80s, and 90s that are cult classics now. Like, back in the day, they hated them, and they were just stupid, and just blood, blah, 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 I don't like it. And nowadays, it's just like some of the biggest movies ever, and it's like, well, it's kind of funny how either times change or just people start liking stuff after the fact. I really don't know. There's probably statistics for that, but I'm surprised it didn't do well when it first came out, because everything in it looks like, I feel like I keep repeating, just beautiful. Okay, and now one of my favorite scenes in the movie, and I want to think almost in cinema history. Like, it's in my top 5 or 10, and it blew me away the first time I saw it, and it's still just, I wish I could forget the scene just to rewatch it. And I mean, that's a huge compliment. The blood testing scene, where they have to test the blood to see which person is the thing, it has such well done tension and just atmosphere, and the music in the whole movie is great. Don't get me wrong. The music is one of the phenomenal parts of the film, among many. But the blood testing scene where Mac, Kurt Russell again, he has to get everyone to cut their hand or their finger and get blood in a little vial, and then he realizes that once the blood's attacked, it acts independently from the rest of the alien, and it got to like run away and try to save itself. Anytime it's in danger, it runs away. So he's like, okay, I see. So he gets a little iron, like a little string, like metal string, and like copper iron or something. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting. And he heats it up and he puts it on the blood, and the thing starts running away from it. And it's like, that's how he'll tell if it's an alien. So he goes through like 2, 3, 4 people, and then it finally shows itself, and then he starts killing it, but it kills someone else. But that's not the part I love. The part I love is just the tension built around that scene, because it's like, oh my god, all these guys are strapped down in a chair. Like, if anyone's the thing, it's gonna just start eating people, and dude, that's terrifying. And the greatest part of that, this is the master part of it, is anytime we have a scene like this in any movie, they usually wait to the last or the second to last person to show they're the alien. And it's like a lineup of 5 or 6 people, and then like the 5th or 6th person is the alien. And it's like, oh, okay, I saw that coming because they built the tension to the last second. No, this one's like, oh, throw that book. I wish I had a book. It's like, throw that book out the window. And it was just like, it's going to be the middle person, and no one expects it. And it's like, oh my god, it's this person, which might happen in real life, and that's why I love it. It's like, it's different. It did something different that seems so minute, but once you actually look at it, it's like, dude, that's surprising. I totally forgot that. And it's just, I love that scene. It's smart. It's good storytelling. You know, I do these videos because I love the things I'm talking about, and it makes me happy talking about it, even though there's some trouble behind the scenes with working on it. But, you know, that happens with everything. And I really do love the things I talk about, the comics, the soon-to-be movies I talk about, and just all that stuff. And this one is one of my top films. But whenever I make these videos, I found out that I have to have some critiques or kind of review it, so I could actually use footage from the movie or pages from the books and all that stuff, so I don't get in legal trouble, because I don't want to owe more money. because that's never fun. So I have to kind of give it some slights or some stuff, and that's not going against the movie because I love it, and these don't degrade the movie at all. It's just some things I may have noticed that seemed off, didn't seem explained, or just not explained well, or just felt plain wrong. So just bear with me here, please. When the doctors finds out that the alien can easily go into someone's bloodstream if it's blood on blood and infect people, it's very infecting. I don't even know if that's a word. Hopefully it is. Anyways, so if I cut myself and I have the alien in me, and you cut yourself and you get my blood on you, it couldn't get inside of you. Plain and simple. But during the blood testing scene, which is one of my favorite scenes, they share the same knife, and I'm like, wow, that's really nasty in a few parts. One, he said the alien can transfer through blood like that, so why would you do that? Second, that's not clean. Like, yeah, they wiped it off on their genes, but it's like, no, you still might get other diseases if other people have it. That's just not healthy. And I'm just like, ew. But I guess, was that the only knife to have? I don't know. It was just kind of nasty. And then kind of like a plot point one, which if someone can explain to me, please do, because I couldn't find it online, and I don't know if I'm looking at it weird or anything, but they mentioned that the spacecraft landed there like 10,000 or so years ago, like many, many years, and that whenever it landed, the alien popped out of it and tried escaping. But he only got like so far, and so when they're looking, like the spacecraft is like super, super, super encased in ice, like super big old tall ice. I had to look at the screen to see how big my arms were going, but like super deep in ice. So it's been there a long time. But the alien is like super not deep in ice. Boo. So it's like, if he escaped at the same time the spacecraft landed, wouldn't he be in the same deepness of ice? I mean, I'm not a geographer, archaeologist. I'm saying these words wrong, but I'm not someone who digs up artifacts or anything, but that just doesn't seem right to me. So if you know anything, please let me know. So thanks for watching as usual. This video took a little longer to make and was a little harder, but I did enjoy rewatching it and talking about it with people because I do love this film, and it was fun to do, and I plan on doing this even more often with Media and Me. It's just, like I said, it will be more on like a couple week or monthly basis. I don't know yet, really depends, but I do plan on doing this in the future. So if there's any movie you guys can think of that I might like or anything like that, just let me know. Or if there's one you like, let me know. Or if this is a movie you like, please talk to me about it. If you don't like it, talk to me and we can see why you don't like it. But as usual, if you want to keep seeing my videos, and I'm hoping to have even more videos and more quality stuff once I get my camera and stuff working, please like this, let me know, and subscribe so you can see all the other videos I finally get done. So, always have a good night, have a good weekend, have a good week, have a good year, have a good century, anything whenever you're watching. Just always kick back with a comic, and now even a movie. Just kick back with whatever you enjoy, and just be happy with it, and share that happiness about the things you love.